Hello and welcome to the Archie Luxury channel. Now we're continuing on the theme of viewer emails, and I'd like to keep reading some emails that have come in. Okay, here we go. To Archie Luxury. Here we go. You got me thinking. I am new to watch collecting. I am totally fascinated by it. The good thing is that I travel a lot for work around the world, so I can visit many dealers. A request. Can you give me some advice on dealers specializing on new watches? If they are not authorized, how do they get new pieces? What does it mean slightly used? What kind of discounts so we expect, and what kind of margin for bargaining exists in your opinion? Are there some dealers that you can recommend in main cities of America and Europe? Are there any websites that you can recommend? Any advice would be greatly useful. He goes on to say there, P.S. I have my eyes on an IWC Portuguese automatic, steel case, gold letters. Any thoughts? The watch snob likes this one despite not appreciating IWC too much. Cheers, Nikos. Okay, very good question there, Nikos. So let's have a look at this here. So what you're asking is, can you give some advice on used and new watches? If they are not authorized, how do they get new pieces? Well, look, what basically happens is a number of things that happens there, and I'll be completely honest with you. I really can't buy much shit from authorized dealers. They're great for if you want to pay retail, but I need to buy a piece that I can always resell and get my money back. And if you're going to buy brand new pieces, it's very unlikely you're going to be able to do that. And I'm looking for value. That's what I'm looking for. So look, how do these grey dealers, that's what you're talking about, how do they get stock? Well, there's all sorts of channels for it there. Sometimes there's clearances from AD or authorized dealers. They pick up stock and they get a lot of stuff in trade. A lot of people who collect watches are very big flippers. They'll buy something and flip it almost within a very short time. So I wouldn't be too worried about it there, as long as they're a reputable dealer. That's quite okay. What sort of bargains? Well, look, it depends on. See, the problem is here. It depends on the brand. It depends on the condition. It depends as the box papers, everything. There's so many variables that affect price. But look, my own view there is this. Look, you've got some great resources that are available. You've got things like the internet where you can look at eBay. This is what I'd be doing, okay? So if you want to know what is a good value piece, well, have a look on eBay, see what pieces are going for. Look at the completed auctions. That's always a great pricing guide. The other thing is, if you go to there's a great Rolex forum, the Rolex forums. That's rolexforums.com. There's a couple of dealers there who sell pieces at what I believe to be reasonable prices. I think it's David S is one dealer. There's a couple dealers there, and they seem to be pretty reputable. Look, I'm in Australia, and I'm mainly, my expertise is Australia and Asia. So I'm not really an expert to advise on good dealers in the US and Europe. But if there's any sponsors who want to sponsor me, I'll certainly recommend your site for money. But look, as far as it goes, look, you go into these things, have a look, do your research, and you'll get some good buys there. I'm not a huge IWC fan myself. The problem with IWC is some of the pieces that they churn out often use an ETA movement. And the other thing that I think the big sin IWC has done is that many years ago, in the 70s, for example, IWC did have gold-plated watches. That's right, they had pieces which had a gold-plated case, and in my opinion, you can never really come back from doing that. I mean, gold-plated is absolute shit. I mean, Cartier does it, but they do it in the musty Cartier line. They don't do it in their expensive Cartier line. So that's acceptable. But IWC certainly did have some gold-plated pieces which I could never forgive them for. But the IWC Portuguese, that's actually a lovely watch. It's a good piece. I don't think IWC is hugely good value. I think Jaeger LeCoultre is a much better buy. think if you're looking for good, beautiful pieces with a great name behind them, Jaeger LeCoultre is probably one of the best bang per buck. So yeah, that's my opinion. I tend to stay away from authorized dealers. You can't make any money. Can't make any money. Can't get out of the piece. And most authorized dealers are fucking tossers. So that's my opinion. Okay, next email here. Hi Archie, love your videos. Found out about you a week ago. Have seen tons of your stuff. Learned quite a bit and laughed. Love the swearing. I don't know what fucking swearing you're talking about. He goes on, I was on my way to starting a Panerai collection. Got my first one a couple of months ago. And I'm preparing my mind for buying the second one. Seeing your Patek Calatrava has made me have second thoughts on whether I go full throttle Panerai. And he's asking me for my opinion. Look, I think Panerai itself is one of the most overrated brands there is. I mean, fuck, Panerai is basically a Richemont reconstruction of the original pieces there. And look, to be completely honest with you, I think they're overpriced. I think there's a lot better value pieces you can get. I mean, if you want a big chunky thing, I'd be going for a used Breitling. That's my own opinion there, but yeah, Panerai is an interesting brand. It's they're a very chic sort of thing, but you know, I think the thing with Panerai is that at the end of the day, it's basically an ETA movement. Yes, they're moving in-house now, I know this, but it's all fucking marketing hype, and it's owned by Richemont. I mean, fuck, you know, it's just, I've never caught the Panerai bug. I've never owned a Panerai, and you know, I think there's much better bang per buck pieces. You want a big diving watch, buy a Submariner or a Sea Dweller. You want a you know, this is the whole thing. You want a huge flashy watch, buy a Breitling. Breitling, I think, is a much better brand than Panerai ever is, and that's just my opinion. So I think something like the Patek, that's a league above your Panerai. Panerai's, you know, they've got a very big collectors following there, but I really can't see the attraction to them. Okay, next letter. Okay, next letter. We've got one from Jeremy. Hello, my name is Jeremy from Singapore. He goes on to say that he's in Queensland for a little while. He's purchased a few watches over the last 2 years, mostly new watches. Geez, you're going to make a lot of money doing fucking new watches. He's bought an IWC Big Pilot, IWC Aquatimer, a Breitling Aerospace. In the past 6 months, I've become enthralled by the beauty and history of military watches, and since have made a couple of purchases: an IWC Mark 11, a Smith's W10, and he goes on to say these brands aren't mentioned in your website. Well, I'm not a huge IWC fan, but the Mark 11's a good piece. Curiously, does IWC not hold its value, and what's there aren't any listed? Well, look, fuck's sake. I mean, IWC, I don't think IWC is good value. I've said it time and time again. I think Jaeger LeCoultre is a hell of a lot better values. IWC's got some huge prices. I don't think they just haven't caught my fancy. I don't know what to say there with them. A lot of IWCs are using an ETA movement, so you're paying for nothing. So that's why it hasn't really been a big thing there. Jeremy goes on to ask my opinion on some watches, and mate, I can't fucking give you fucking, you know, opinions. I can't waste, you know, just a typical Singaporean. He just wants me, he's just pumping me for knowledge and information. Mate, you gotta fucking do your own homework. I can't fucking give you homework, you know. You sound like a guy who earns a fair bit of money. Well, fuck, you know, you want my opinion for free? Fuck off. I mean, geez, I don't know what it is with Singaporeans. I've been to Singapore. I love Singapore, but fuck me dead. You know, they just Singaporeans will just sap the life out of a fucking stone. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's just. I mean, I can't do your homework for you, Jeremy. I mean, I mean, you've got to buy what you want to buy. I mean, I can't fucking look at every fucking purchase you want to make and give you my opinion. And fuck, you know, if I was to do that, I'd want some money for doing that. Fuck me dead. But okay, there we go. That's our viewer emails. If you've got any questions, if you want an opinion on the watch you've purchased, please send me the details of it. Preferably, if you've got some pictures, send me some pics, and I'll give you my opinion of your purchase. Obviously, you know, you may not like what I say, but I'll tell you the truth. If you bought a fucking dog, I'll tell you bought a dog. So keep those emails coming, and don't forget to click like for this video. Thanks very much.